I'd like to thank you for taking a couple minutes to watch this introduction video to InstantQuoteTool.com. If you have not done so already, simply visit InstantQuoteTool.com and click on Start Your Free Trial. When you do this, you'll be presented with three different options. You're going to either choose the IQ Individual to start your free 30-day trial. You can choose a team. This is the exact same version as the individual. It just allows us to be aware of the fact that you're going to be using the tool with a team so we can make sure we contact you with updates about new features that we're coming out with for our team users. The third option, you can contact us if you are a larger ISO, if you have 10 or more sales reps and you'd like a little bit more customization work done, just feel free to let us know that. Once you click on free trial, it'll take you to the sign up page where you can go here and put in your information and simply click Create My Account. This will take you to the payments page where you can enter your payment information to start your free 30-day trial, after which you'll be billed the $29 per month. If you are a returning user to the website, you can simply click on this icon in the upper right and click on Sign In, and this will take you to your sign in screen where you can sign in. From this main screen, we're going to see several different things that we can do. The first thing we can do is click on Training. If you have not already gone through the training courses, I would highly advise that you do so. There is absolutely no additional cost whatsoever for these training courses. We have quite a few of them. I always point out, for those of you that are more experienced in the industry, the Advanced Statement Analysis Training. This is a really good 2-hour course that dives in a lot deeper with the interchange table and how the different interchange assumptions work, and that will help you to use this tool much more effectively. The second thing that you can do from this page is click on your profile and then click on the Program Wizard. When you click on the Program Wizard, you're going to have the opportunity to create a new program. The program is where you're going to put all of the pricing information as well as your Schedule A costs so that our tool can figure out what your compensation would be, your residual, as well as the savings for the merchant every time you run a new statement comparison. Now, let me stop you before we get too detailed here, because there are specific videos in the training section on how to create a program, or what most of our users do is they simply email their compensation information that they have, their Schedule A, etc., to support@instantquotetool.com, support@instantquotetool.com, and we'd be glad to go in, click on the Program Wizard here, and create some programs for you. And that's no problem at all. Keep in mind that you can put as many processors and programs into this system as you would like, and you will be able to see all of the qualifying programs every time you run a new statement. At this point in the introduction video, I would like to point out that our tool is made to work on any device. And so you can use this on your phone, you can use it on a tablet, or you can use it on your desktop. Most of the views have actually been designed specifically for use on a phone, with the exception of a couple screens that we'll talk about a little later. Here we are back at the desktop view, and if you click the plus icon in the lower right-hand corner, the first task that you have is to choose a business type. Now, if you're on your phone especially, you can use the search at the top to search for specific keywords like retail, or you could search for, if you're looking for a quick service restaurant, it would pop up here. So once you find the one that you want, you simply click Choose to choose that business type, and then you're going to put some basic information in here. I'm going to say this is Tony's Taco Stand. Name is Tony, and some other information. Now keep in mind, this information here where you have the prospect, this is simply to organize your proposals and statements, because many times you'll go back to the same place and you'll want to still have that information. So you have a unique sign-in that's going to store all of your prospects and all of the statement information, and you can also enter some basic information about the stage of the prospect, but the primary purpose of the tool is simply to walk you through creating a proposal. Now we're going to click Save and Quote. And we're going to now come to this form. Several things you can do with this form. First of all, you want to name your statement. We usually name it with the month and year of the statement. And so I'll say this was a statement from June 2016. Then we're going to put in our total volume. And so the total volume here is required. And this is the total volume including Visa, MasterCard, Discover, VMD, or also including American Express and PIN debit. So let's say that Tony did $10,000 in total volume. Then we could put American Express or PIN debit. Now, this is not required. Many times you won't know that information, but I would highly recommend that you do put in the total current fees. It's going to make the next form much easier to use. If you don't receive the total fees from the merchant, you can simply take a guess at it. Usually somewhere between 3.5% to 4% of the total volume would be a pretty good guess. So let's say here that Tony told us that he is paying $350, and I'm going to go ahead and add some American Express volume and some PIN debit volume just so you can see all the fields on the next form. Once you click create, there is going to be a pause of anywhere from 1 to 3 seconds depending on the speed of the service internet where you're at, and then it will pop up with this form here. Now, this form is made up of 2 sections. The section at the top, it does not collapse. It is always there. And really, in most cases, especially if you don't have the statement, this is really the only section that you need to do any editing to at all. And really, you don't have to edit it at all. It's really ready to go. You could just click continue. What's happening behind the scenes here is that an algorithm is running to predict all of their fees. And if you click on these sections here, they will expand. And you can see them as they expand, all the information here about their different monthly fees, etc. So I'm going to walk you through these one by one very quickly just to show you how they work. So the first thing you would do if you actually had the statement and you wanted to complete a side-by-side comparison is you would look here at the basis points and the per item fee. Usually you can find these on the statement, but not always. If you do find them on the statement and you want to enter them, you can do so. And we've already guessed that this particular merchant, based on their business type and their, all the different variables, we've guessed that they're at 90 basis points and 11 cents. You might say, no, they're actually at 80 basis points and 15 cents. And you'll see that all of the fields are going to update dynamically, making the fields more and more accurate the more information that you enter. The next section is the other fees. Here you're going to put in their total monthly fees, and what this means is, your statement fee, maybe there's some other monthly fee that they have, an online access fee or something like that, and you could put those fees in there. You could also put fees in there for equipment costs. Maybe they have an equipment rental fee, anything like that. You put all of those fees right there into the monthly fees section and just simply add them up from the statement and enter them right there. The next 2 fields are for the batches. This particular one, we have our algorithm estimated they're paying a 30-cent batch fee and that they did 20 batches. And so you might change this and say that they actually did, 25 batches, and that will, again, edit other fields throughout the form to make sure that we account for that additional fees there. Then we have a monthly PCI fee, which again, maybe they have that, maybe they do not. You can put that in. And then we also have an annual fee and a monthly debit fee. Once we're done with that, we can click this here. Now, it'll flash up here and say saved, but everything is saved automatically. So as soon as you type it in, it's going to be saved no matter what. Next, we have American Express. Now, these next, let's see, what do we have here? 5 categories, Amex, PIN Debit, Visa, MasterCard, and Discover, are all identical. You have the volume, the number of transactions, the per item fee, and then the total per item fees, which is, of course, the transactions times the per item fee, then the basis points of markup, and then the total markup fees. And so I'll just briefly show you that as you go through. Each one has this information in it. And again, these will update dynamically as you enter additional information into the form. And so I think the easiest way for me to explain it is that every time you click on a field and type something into it, that field becomes locked. And our algorithm knows not to mess with that because you've entered it directly yourself. But all of the other fields, our algorithm is going to make the best statistical guess based on the fields that you have entered. And that just makes it more and more accurate. The very last box is probably the most confusing, but you don't really need to worry about it because honestly, if you fill everything else out correctly, this box is going to take care of itself. But I will walk you through it very briefly. Here you have the total interchange and you have the total pass-through. Now, let me explain the difference. It's very important. On many statements, they're going to have a section that they will call the interchange section or the pass-through cost section or the cost section, something like that. And this section is going to contain many different things. It's going to contain things called the Network Access Brand Usage Fee or the NABU fee. It's going to contain card access fees or assessments. It's going to contain American Express OptBlue or the American Express fees, debit card network fees like Star, NYCE, Pulse, and Excel. It's going to contain the interchange table that's got interchange costs from the banks. These are all pass-through costs that should be passed through at cost. But there's a couple different ways that you can edit this. If you have the statement and you're very knowledgeable about how to read a statement, you could enter the information here individually. What would make a lot more sense is to just look at the total of the section, and let's say the total is, in this case, actually maybe $160, and then you would tab over here. And what that's going to do is that's going to automatically update these fields down here based on you entering that information. And so again, it's dynamically updating many different fields in the form based on you entering that information. Our algorithm knows what most likely happened to the other fees. Now, once we have this form ready to submit, we're going to go ahead and click continue either at the top or bottom. We place 2 here because, again, this form is used most often on your phone. And let's take 1 second to look at this form and how it would look on a phone. As you can see, the phone view is very different from the view that you get on your desktop. And as you click on these drop downs, we have many more fields that you can fill out here. As you go down into the different card types, however, we've limited the number of fields that are shown by default to just 2. And that way it doesn't get too crazy as you're scrolling down on your phone screen. But this will allow you to very easily go in and use the statement to enter the volume and the number of transactions for your different card brands. You can also, of course, click the little drop down here, and that's going to allow you to enter the additional information as well as see the average ticket size so that you can see if there's any red flags in the way that you've entered it. Let me also point something else out to you. Right here, if you click on Reset Fields, I'll go ahead and click that. Watch what happens here if we change the volume, let's say to 6,300. So our algorithm has estimated what how the volume, that 10,000 in volume, how it's split up between Visa, MasterCard, and Discover. And so if you start entering information and you realize you got kind of lost somewhere along the way and you're not really sure and you want to start over, just click Reset Fields. And this is just going to pull those original fields right back in so that you can start over. Once we have this all set, let's go ahead and click continue down here at the bottom. And this will take about 1 to 3 seconds to complete. And when it pops up here, you're going to see a couple things that are very interesting on the Interchange calculator. Now, let me first start out by saying the most accurate thing you can do and the thing that makes the most sense, especially if you're newer to the industry, on this page is to simply click compare. That's all you need to do. You don't really need to worry about any of this, but I am going to walk you through it, especially for those of you that are more experienced that want to understand what's happening here. If you scroll to the very bottom of the page, you're going to see an interchange table. One thing that sets our tool apart from others in the industry that have some type of predictive tool is that we actually build the most statistically probable interchange table, which allows our algorithm to be much more flexible and accurate. Looking at this table, we've taken the information to create these interchange assumptions. And so when you look at it and say, well, how do I know that the interchange is actually going to be $127.44 if I'm processing transactions for this merchant? Well, the way that you know that is that we went out and looked at thousands of records for the same business type to come up with these assumptions down here. But you can certainly adjust them anytime that you want. So for instance, let's imagine that you are in a pizza shop here. And you're in the pizza shop and you ask the pizza shop owner, do you know about how much of your credit card transactions you're doing over the phone versus in person? Because we're assuming that only 5.4% of your transactions are card not present. Well, they might say, no, we probably do 20%. So notice our interchange is currently $127.44. But if we click adjust, we're going to see a really nice form here. We can simply go here and do 20. And that's going to automatically update the other one to be 80. Has a little animation here to just show you how that works with the bar graph. When we click adjust, it's going to leave our revenue numbers the same, but it's going to increase our interchange up to 135 because we have the interchange table. It was able to go find all of the card not present interchange categories and increase the volume there while decreasing it everywhere else. And so our algorithm is very smart. It's able to keep all of the brand numbers the same while adjusting your interchange. Now, as we move up the form, and again, there's many other things you can do here. I'm not going to walk you through each of them on this video. You can do your card types and change the downgrade, business card, rewards cards. But we've made this a lot simpler to understand and utilize. Now, the next thing I want to show you is up at the very top. This, first of all, has your current. So the current interchange, that is the interchange that was on the previous form. So you were just on the form to create the statement. That's what they're currently paying. Their current interchange they're paying is $154. And our algorithm lets us know that this is less likely. And so there's 4 levels. You have very likely, less likely, not likely, and incorrect. Incorrect would mean that there is less than a 0.3% chance their interchange is actually at that amount. And so you can see here, if you change this and say we put it up to, I don't know, $215, it'll tell us that's incorrect. If we put it at maybe $180, still incorrect. Let's try 160. So 160 is not likely, and so you can kind of get a feel for how this works. But there's a couple things that you could do up here if you would like. The first thing you could do is you could simply match their current interchange. So if you want to be very conservative, you're not comfortable showing savings on interchange, you could just say, okay, they're currently 154. I'll match it and I'll type 154 right here. Once you do that, you just click save, and it will update the interchange for all the different categories here, and they're now at 154. Okay. The other thing that you could do, though, is you could leave it. I think we had it at 135 before, something like that. And that will show an additional $19 in monthly savings. And again, it's very likely that they are getting marked up on interchange. Now, the way this happens is that many different processors do mark up interchange or hide markup in the interchange table. And so it's very difficult when you're reading a statement to find out if they're marking up interchange. That's why we built this tool. One of the main reasons is that right here it will tell you how likely it is that the interchange really should be that amount versus they're marking it up. Okay, so once you've saved this, click on the save button. You can go ahead and click compare. And this is going to take us to the screen showing us all of our different programs and comparing them with an upfront bonus, the monthly residual, the basis points of markup, and the transaction fee. Now, it pulls all these in at the minimum pricing. And so these are all at your minimum pricing guidelines, showing you your savings here. And there's a few things you can do. You could decrease or increase your margin. So let's say that you looked at this top one here and decided you want to do the 70% split, but you said, I'm only making $15 in residual at 5 basis points and 4 cents. I think I want to increase my margin, which is going to decrease the savings. And that's going to take it up a certain amount. Now, this is not where you set the pricing very specifically. I'll show you that in the next section. But this is where you simply click it and kind of get it generally where you want. So here we are on this one. We're at 40 and 8. Now we're still saving the merchant $60 a month. We're making $45 a month. So now we feel like, okay, this is at a pretty good spot. So now we're going to choose the program we want and go ahead and click present. Once we click present, we're going to have 3 different views that we can show to the merchant. Before we show them those views, though, we want to click right here on the pricing wizard. And there's several things you can do on the pricing wizard. The first thing you can do is you can actually set the specific fees. So while the previous screen allowed you to adjust the fees by going up or down a certain amount, it's the idea of trying to get it as close as you can so you can compare the programs and choose a program. But here's where you really want to set them exactly. So maybe we actually want to be at 45 basis points and 9 cents. And maybe we actually want the American Express basis points at 25 and the per item fee at 20 cents, and then the PIN debit per item fee, we want that at 10 cents. And so we're going to put the pricing in here. We can hit next, and we can put more information in here. Now, up here at the top, we also have the proposal note. This is really nice. So this is where you can put a proposal in there, and you can a note in the proposal, and you can say, "Hey Tony, it was great speaking with you today," etc. Hit the next step here. Go ahead and click save. And now, if we go to our, for instance, our detail view here, which is going to break everything out detailed, we can click on the PDF, and it's going to create a beautiful PDF proposal that's got the name of the business, and of course, it's got my contact information on the proposal. And everything is ready to go. If you're on your phone, you would just simply tap on the proposal and hit on the little share button, and you could email that to a prospect. We also have the summary view, which is used when you are not exactly sure if this merchant is going to move forward, but you need to leave them something. Many times, salespeople do not want to leave the pricing information because they're afraid the merchant will go to their current company and try to match those prices. So you can use the summary view, and we have a PDF for that as well. or you can click on the side-by-side. Now the side-by-side view breaks everything down into details here, and it shows you what the savings is going to be on the pass-through, which you can see a breakdown of it here. Here's our interchange, here's our access fees, and so it has all this information here, and it breaks down where the savings are at. We also have the processing costs, and you have little drop downs where you can click on those, and you can see different drop down information here. And down at the bottom, we have our other fees like monthly fees and batch fees. And so we have the full side-by-side comparison, or the detail view, or the summary view if you don't want to do it side-by-side. Now the last thing I'm going to show you, and then we're done, is the support link. Right up here at the top, just simply click on support, enter your name, your phone number, your email address. Make sure you put the email address in there that you are actually using with the tool to log in so we can look up your account. And then just send us a message. Let us know what questions you have or feedback. We're definitely looking for feedback as we've just rolled out these new features. I hope that you really enjoyed, and I hope it adds more sales to your portfolio. Thanks so much for taking time to watch this video, and I hope you enjoy the tool.